Let me just start off by saying, the Idaho mountains don't forgive, and neither do small-town power plays. The dream was supposed to be simple, you know? A quiet place, off the grid, away from the kind of office politics that sneak into your bloodstream after too many years in the federal game. I'd imagined myself finally free. No bosses, no HOA, no one telling me what color to paint my damn mailbox. Just me, the pines, maybe a cold beer, and if I was lucky, the occasional deer wandering past the window. Yeah, that's not how this played out. I'll never forget my first day driving up that winding road. Morning mist clinging to the ridge, the old Ford growling behind me. Every box in the world stuffed in the back. The house looked just like I remembered, proud, a little modern, windows shining, guest cabin peeking out from behind the pines. There was that feeling you get, like maybe, just maybe, you finally made the right decision after a whole lifetime of second-guessing. But the feeling didn't last, not even until I cut the engine. Because sitting across my new driveway was a chain, heavy, padlocked, fresh, practically laughing in my face. And hanging from it, a sign that looked like it was printed for a damn HOA convention, private community, access denied. Honestly, I thought maybe I'd made a wrong turn. Maybe GPS was drunk. But nope, two people were waiting for me like stage actors on opening night. One, a guy in his 30s, orange vest, GoPro strapped on like a badge of honor. The other, a woman who looked like she'd eaten a dozen realtors for breakfast, clipboard pressed to her chest, lips tight. She came right up, cool as you please. Sir, this is a private community. Entry restricted to authorized residents and guests. Do you have proof? You know that moment when you realize you're not just moving boxes, you're about to go to war? I stepped out slow, keeping it calm. I'm Jackson Haynes. I bought that house. Title's clean. No liens. No HOA. Her smile didn't budge. It's under legal review. Whispering Pines HOA claims the parcel for foreclosure recovery. You'll need to step back. And the dude with the camera just kept filming, red light blinking like I was on some low-rent reality show. I could have argued. But honestly, I'd spent enough of my life arguing with bureaucrats to know when talk is useless. So I just walked back to my truck, grabbed the bolt cutters, the real kind, not the toy ones, and cut the lock with a satisfying snap. Didn't say a word, just signaled to my moving guy, told him to keep it moving. The clipboard lady started yelling about trespassing, court orders, the whole shebang, but I was already on the phone with the sheriff before she could finish. 15 minutes later, Deputy Ron Sears rolled up, looked at the swinging chain, then at me. He's the type who could make a coyote nervous with just a squint. I gave him my story, showed him every document, deed, purchase agreement, the whole paper trail. Ron's eyes narrowed, flipping page after page, but before he could say much, the Real show arrived. A black Lexus, dust cloud behind it, and Karen Mott herself. The HOA queen. Designer sunglasses, tailored blazer, stack of papers thick enough to double as a weapon. She strode up, waving her official documents. Deputy, I'm here to assert the association's claim. The lot was foreclosed, placed under our jurisdiction. These individuals are trespassing. Ron didn't flinch. I just handed over everything. Deed, county parcel map, insurance. He checked, double-checked, and finally looked at Karen. Unless you have a county-stamped overlay or a court order, you're off this property. Now, Karen glared like she was carving my name into a hit list. This isn't over. You ever see someone lose but refuse to admit it? That was Karen, right then. But let me tell you, there's a special chill that comes after a threat like that. By the time the last box was inside, I could feel it, like waiting for a storm you can't see but know is coming. The next day, I'm screwing in a light in the guest cabin when Rachel, my lawyer, calls. She's already laughing. Jackson, you're gonna love this. HOA's filed for emergency injunction, claims you stole the property. They've got a donation agreement for $1. $1. Documents a forgery. Wrong font. No notary. Signatures ripped off a tax form from years ago. We start gathering evidence. Photos, emails, a video of the previous owner handing me the keys, even an old thread where he says point blank the house is outside HOA jurisdiction. Then the twist hits. The HOA gets bold. Next thing I know, there's a tent at my gate, board members on rotation like it's some kind of Civil War reenactment. One dude, Bryce, introduces himself, sips coffee, acts like he's the sheriff. We're just observing the boundary, sir. I film him, call the sheriff again. Deputy Sirs looks more tired this time, but waves them off. The tent's gone by night, but the message is clear, they're not giving up. If you've never lived through real harassment, let me set the scene. That night, the wind howls, trees lean, and the kind of silence that should be peaceful instead sounds like a threat. Around 2 a.m., every motion sensor lights up. I check the security feed, 3 figures sneaking along the fence, tools in hand. Not kids, these guys move with intent. I flip the floodlights and hit the siren. The hillside goes electric. They freeze, then scatter, one dropping his tool. I'm out there in boots and coat, 12 gauge in hand. No panic, just a guy sick of being pushed. Call the police, hand over the footage. One of the trespassers gets picked up the next day. Turns out, it's the husband of a board member. Small world, huh? Karen doesn't back down. She goes full propaganda. Local news, staged interviews, crying about a heavily armed outsider terrorizing her community. She waves folders, claims I'm a threat. But people aren't dumb. I upload every doc, every video. Me turning on lights, not weapons. The story spreads, first local, then online. Reddit eats it up, memes flying. HOA Karen tries to frame homeowner, gets busted. My side's out there, and suddenly, the pressure isn't just on me. The courtroom showdown comes next. The judge is no nonsense. The gallery is packed. Karen's lawyer spins fairy tales about community stewardship, functional association, you name it. Rachel's ready, hands over the forensic breakdown, the metadata, the affidavit from the previous owner, the pile of legal proof. When the judge sees the emails, Karen instructing her board to push the story, file fast, too messy to undo. It's game over. Temporary restraining order, criminal investigation, HOA put under external oversight. Karen's eyes go glassy. But you know these people. They don't quit, they pivot. The next morning, a new tent pops up just outside my legal boundary, with a community watch sign, volunteers swapping shifts like wannabe commandos. I walk out, point to the survey marker, warn them to stay off my land. They try again, posting fake signs, calling in anonymous complaints about military-grade fencing. Code enforcement comes out, but I show every receipt, every code, and send them away a little embarrassed. Then comes the next escalation, late-night break-in attempt. 3 people, angle grinder on my gate, caught red-handed by floodlights and sirens. This time, the sheriff's office takes it seriously. Once picked up, HOA royalty again. The local news catches Karen spinning her usual tale, now sounding desperate. Meanwhile, my digital evidence goes viral. Veteran defends property, HOA caught in the act. The world's watching, and Karen's running out of moves. But you want real drama? Try sleeping with a shotgun next to the bed because you don't know if the next community patrol is coming with a clipboard or a crowbar. Try watching a drone buzz your guest cabin at midnight, sticker reading WPV patrol eyes, and realizing they're just getting more creative. The final trial is a circus, media everywhere, neighbors gawking. Karen's attorneys scramble, claim misunderstandings, blame outdated maps. Rachel's team drops the hammer. Emails, footage, voice testimony, the works. The judge doesn't hesitate. Intentional fraud, organized trespass, conspiracy to commit real estate theft. Karen is led away, the HOA dissolved, assets frozen, board members facing lawsuits and public shame. The residents, for the first time, look embarrassed, some even apologize in private. I just nod. What do you say to that? 2 months later, I'm finally alone. No chains, no tents, no HOA. I melt down the old chain, have it forged into a new sign, private property, no HOA, no exceptions. Hold a little barbecue, smoked ribs, cold beer, Rachel and the sheriff's guys. We laugh, but deep down, there's this sense that justice doesn't always feel like victory. I stand on the porch, watch the sun filter through the pines, listen to nothing but wind and the quiet I earned, one legal battle at a time. So here's my question for you. What's worth fighting for? When your peace gets stolen, do you make noise or do you give in? Was I just defending my land? Or did the war go too far? Justice, property, community, everyone's got an opinion. And after all that, I'd say this. If you want something bad enough, you hold on. Even when the world tells you to let go. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts below, share your story, or just tell me. What would you have done? Is there such a thing as too far when you're standing up to bullies? Or is it just called being American? Let's hear it. Call to action. Comment your take. Was Jackson right? Is fighting the HOA heroism or madness? Where's the line between defending what's yours and starting a feud that never ends? I want to know what you'd do if the battle came to your doorstep. Let's talk about what real justice means right here.